Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Cuttlers Bend, and today we're going to work in this area. You can see we've added some things up here, and we've just done a little bit of decoration under the bridge here. Added a few beds and whatnot, and then we're going to have to go for a sleep in a second and we'll get into the build. Anyway, there we go, that was magic. So we're going to build in here today. We're going to build a whole lot of little apartments, as junky as you like, and this will take a while. It's a fairly long video, so I've had to speed up sections of this, so I hope you don't mind. Thanks for the response on the last couple of videos. Obviously you're enjoying the build here at Cuttlers Bend, and it's obviously generating some ideas for a few of you, so thank you for the feedback. It is much appreciated and it does help the channel. So I've used all this grounded mod again that we showed you before, and really improvising here. Not quite sure what I'm going to put down, but I'm going to put something down and then we'll see where it leads us. So I'm going to start with this prefab here in the corner, and then we'll just go crazy from there. And what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of vibrance up here, a little bit of colour, but I want to also keep it scrappy as per the brief, and also I want to just vary it up a little bit. So you can see I'm trying a whole raft of things here to see what sticks, what works, what doesn't work, and all part of the creative process when you're building. So I will replace a lot of these roofs, these kind of metal roof parts, and make them into floors here. I think I cut most of it out because it's just kind of rinse and repeat stuff, and it's not really that creative. So you can see I kind of run, this is the thing I do a lot, I run back and forward, I look at how it looks, look for a new idea, put another piece on, add. So not every idea that you're going to have is going to work, but try the things. If they don't work, you can always rip them out and put something else in. It's that simple. Now I do have a few issues in this build with a couple of mods that I use. Now the mods for some reason disappeared on me and then reappeared on me. I have no idea. I've noticed that, I think more recently I've been noticing that there's been a few weird things happening, and I actually think it's got to do with some of these updates that they're putting in with Creation Club. I have noticed there's been a few weird stuff, and I've spoken to a few people that are also experiencing some really strange occurrences happening when after they update Fallout 4, which is happening. The updates are happening a lot these days because they're constantly adding things to Creation Club. So there's been some really strange things. I had the Sunshine Tidings fixing up the Commonwealth build where the thing just had updated and then it started crashing on me and freezing on me, and then suddenly there was another update and that fixed itself. So it's been really strange. And so this one, the reason I'm telling this is some of these walls may change slightly on a couple of these dwellings, not all of them, but just a couple of them. So I like the fact that that train is there. I like to keep that in the build, and we struggle, obviously we're glitching through it, but the fact that you can't actually get in there, so it's not going to be seen, doesn't really matter. And you can see I'm doing a whole lot of stuff here by just mixing up all different building materials and just seeing what works, what doesn't work for me. Yeah, he was thinking about using that door as a window and all kinds of stuff. There you go. So that's now a window. Yep, that works. Little apartment in there. And what I tried to do with this area here is that I tried to build all of these areas here without any doors on them. So they're all open. Obviously I've got a door there, it's a window, but it's not acting as a door. So just making it as scrappy as possible, thrown together as possible. And I think the fact that that train carriage there is where it is adds to the fact that it is all kind of thrown together and improvised, if you like. These boards help out again, these gap fillers, wall boards, whatever you want to call them. So we're doing well so far. That looks okay. I think it's going somewhere. And I think I end up making about 4 or 5 little apartments here within this particular area. I wanted to keep it kind of, have that vibe of feeling really claustrophobic, thrown together. And this is the perfect spot for it. Okay, come on. That's it, thank you. So I would encourage you to do this. Just throw all different kind of wall types, textures, you know, wood, metal, whatever, and just see what it looks like and whether it works for you. Yep, convince that into place. That's fine. Maybe just straighten it up a fraction. I think it's actually okay, but yeah, I think it's fine. And then I scrap it. See, this happens a lot with me. There we go, that works. I like that. Yep, that's okay. So you can have these back to back to back apartments, and everybody's kind of living on top of each other. And again, I've tried some elements. You would have seen, if you've been watching the channel more recently, you would have seen I've been throwing together some of my own furniture, and I continue in this, but also start to use different types of furniture for different things as well. So it will all become apparent in the goodness of time as we go through the build. So I've really been having fun recently on the channel, been really challenging myself to come up with some new ideas for the channel, different segments, different ways of putting videos out. And more recently I've really kind of stripped it back a little bit and gone back to a very base kind of thought process of working on not settlements, but builds that are very orientated to survivalists in the Commonwealth, and you know, the kind of having absolutely zero to work with, and so they really can't come up with these palatial builds. They just have to build what they can out of what items and building materials they can. So I've obviously done the Sanctuary Survivalist's house. I've also done a little bit of Red Rocket, and I'm really enjoying stripping it back and just going back to that kind of very base build, not making things overly complicated, and seeing where it leads us. So it has been quite refreshing, actually, to be honest. I've really enjoyed those couple of builds that we've done, and in those we actually haven't really showed you the build process as such. We've just put them together and showed you what the end result is. So maybe it's something that's worth giving a try. And you can see here I am working with an idea. It is leading me somewhere, just not sure exactly where it's leading me. Now I know I've got these kind of triangular pieces for and you can see my brain at work. I have these triangular pieces for the roofs that Workshop Rearrange has recently added in, and so I was looking for those and found this, and sometimes this is what happens, I kind of get distracted. So added this little kind of awning, if you like, in. Probably needs to come down a fraction. There we go. And we'll just drop it in there. And these are the little touches that kind of make a difference to the overall look of different buildings. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to come up with some areas that are all kind of work with each other, but at the same time are all completely different from each other. These gap filler boards, man, these are so good, really. Thank you to whoever put them in the game. I love them. So I'm looking for, as I said, I'm looking for a specific element, building element here, and I can't remember for the life of me where they are. Hence why I'm going back and forward trying to find these particular fillers. And then the light bulb goes on and I remember, I go, yeah, I know where they are. I know where I've seen them. But again, this is something that you can do in your own builds. Try a bunch of stuff and see what works. So I think that's the thing with building in Fallout. You are really challenged when you have to find find them eventually. You're really challenged when you build things and then you go, I need to solve that problem. What particular thing have I got in my build items that would fix that problem? So you can see these are perfect. That'll fit in there really nicely. So I know the mod developer on Workshop Rearrange has been working very hard with new items. I have made a request for some items that I want, and that's probably giving them a ton of work. But anyway, one request, and that's the thing with mods, one request can add a lot of time and generate thousands of items into a particular mod. So I'm going to say too much more than that, but hopefully, that wants to snap in there. So that's how it's supposed to work. And you know, just little simple things like this should be in the game, in my opinion. I don't know why they're not in the game, but anyway, don't get me started. We've had that conversation a million times. So you would have seen at the start of the video there is I added a few canvases to my right there under the bridge, and just putting lots of these little areas around the settlement. We obviously showed you one a couple of weeks ago, and the challenge with putting these little apartments in is to try and get all the stuff on the left now to blend with all the stuff on the right. So I'll make a little workshop area in here, just make sure I can actually get physically underneath there. And I think this is a good little addition to something completely different, but a good addition to the end here. It would make sense that that would be in there. To get smaller, so see that? Oh, there we go. That's actually floating. So there wasn't quite the right height here. That one's okay. The other one's floating for some reason. Anyway, it's alright, we'll work around that. So what's been going on with you in Commonwealth land? I'm interested to see what you're doing in Fallout at the moment. Are you playing the game? Are you doing builds? Settlement build? What are you working on? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to hear from you guys and see what you're up to. And if you have any ideas for builds as well, please let me know, and I'll try and build them for you. That's been a very good I've enjoyed that with fixing up the Commonwealth, which will be back at some point once we get this build done. I really enjoyed interacting with you and getting your ideas. Obviously we asked for ideas last week on that part of the settlement. It's off to the left at the moment on the far side, and I have had a few ideas given to me. I need a few more, So keep them coming, and we'll see what we come up with. I've also been talking to a number of guys that are fairly new to building in Fallout. They have Fallout, but they haven't done any building, and I've been talking to quite a few people recently. And so there will be a segment, or at least a video. I'm going to start with one video and see how it goes on kind of building basics. So I've got an introductory video that should be up next week, I think. And if you want me to do more on that kind of subject, the basics of building, and I can cover a whole lot of different subjects, no drama at all, to help you just get a little bit step ahead in your understanding of what's needed to start building in Fallout. A lot of us forget that we've been doing this for so long that it's just become second nature to us, and we forget that some of you will watch the videos and go, oh, I don't know how he do that. So what I've decided to do is go back to basics, and with the idea of just helping people that are new to building, because we like new builders in the community, and I think it's positive that the game is still attracting people to not only playing Fallout 4 but also getting into the building component. It is highly addictive once you start, as a lot of us know, and I'm probably one of those, given that this whole channel is predominantly based around builds. And well, it's been, we're in April now, and I've been building, I have been putting out build videos since January 2017, so it's over a year, but I've also been building a lot longer than that. So it's a lot of hours that you have to dedicate, and but it's very enjoyable. I find it a great stress reliever, and something just where you can just switch off, let your creativity go wild, and to see what happens. And I continue to come up with new ideas. I got no idea where they come from, but sometimes, yeah, that's also part of the attraction of doing this, is that your mind can just go absolutely ballistic and can come up with just crazy ideas. So I have a new idea for a challenge, and the thing that I do love about this community is many of us have the same material, same mods. How scrappy is that? The same mods, the same materials, but yet we all can come up with these completely different looking structures and builds, and it's just, I love that. And everybody kind of learns from each other, and they take it to the next level and do a build, and then somebody does something else and takes it to another level, and so it's just like a continuum of ideas that are generated through the building community. So I love you guys for that. It keeps me inspired, and it keeps me going forward with my builds. You will get those points where in your I'm just going to say building career, I guess it is a building career to some extent, but you are going to get those times when you just are out of ideas, completely out of ideas, and you just have to work your way through that. It happens. Don't worry about it too much. Just keep building. Like I said a couple of weeks ago on the channel, I'm getting to the point now where I'm probably going to be doing fewer builds, because I don't just want to put anything out on the channel just for the sake of putting a video out. I want to do things that I enjoy first of all, but also I think you guys will get some kind of inspiration or some ideas from, or will enjoy. So I shudder to think how many hours I've actually spent building in this game. It's just, I'm sure it's a crazy amount. I actually like the fact that that's poking at the top there. Kind of gives it a little bit of different look, which I do enjoy. And Proton Radz asks for scrappy, and this is as scrappy as I can get. So these poles are a bit too long, so just put them in and then pull them down and they should work. See where that is. Yeah, that's not going to matter. I'm just checking where that is. It's not sticking through the bottom of a another dwelling, which it's not, so we can pull that down a little bit further. Ooh, or not. Wants to stay like that for some reason. Come on. Ooh, it's never done that before. What's going on? Okay, so that's not going to work. Obviously it's clipping with something below me, so we're going to have to persuade it into place, I think. We haven't come across a building load order issue for a long time. I guess that's what that is, but I guess the more that you build, the more that you get used to understanding how things actually fit together, and then coming into issues with the build order or load order become less and less. Okay, so that's the compromise we're going to have to do there. Okay, what else are we going to do? So I don't know if you guys do what I do, where I get to a certain point and then I kind of stop, have a look around and just try and generate where to move forward next. I like the way that roof looks as though it's extending up and it's all one piece. And one of the things that I've been prone on doing for many weeks and months is to go out in the Commonwealth, have a walk around, find buildings that are interesting or elements of buildings that are interesting, and then come back and see how you can build them. So I'm obviously looking for something here. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm sure we'll find out in a sec. So I'm still suffering from understanding where everything's going now, because since I have put the kind of full version of USO, I was running the Legacy edition. Now that I've put the full version in, it's shifted a whole lot of items that I was using, and were in a certain place, and now they're in a completely different place. So sometimes I get stuck with trying to figure out where certain things are. That is not going to fit in there for some reason, so we'll have to come up with another solution. But anyway, let's keep going forward with the build and see what happens next. So we're going to put a whole lot of this is little finishing touches for the settlement, and then we will go to the final tour, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this one. It is a little bit long, but I think it was worth leaving all these little bits and pieces in so that you could see where kind of the creative brain goes, and how you can just throw together all different types of building items and materials and make them all work together. So here we are with the tour. As you can see, much of that hasn't changed up the top, but let's just see what it looks like. I've put a bit of a fence in here. There's still some areas in here that I need to fill in. We're still working on that fence there. The hill. So I have a bit of an outdoor shower now, and obviously these toilets that I showed you at the start of the video are just 2 end caps. We've added a couple of toilets and put a divider in between. So let's go in and have a look at what we ended up with. I think you're really going to like this. I enjoyed putting this together. You can see I've continued the plyboard on the floor all the way through here. Decided to put a little workshop in here, like that, and just chucked a whole lot of things in there, and they all kind of sort of work with each other. There you go. In room number 2, no door whatsoever, no walls really, it's just a shelf, duffel bag and a bunk bed. It's pretty much all there is. Now I'll show you this area next. So this is a really simple idea. I've just put a canvas up on top here and then just put a whole lot of things in there to decorate it up. Not much building involved, but very believable I think for this settlement. Again, made up beds and all kinds of stuff lying around in here. Probably a little bit of decoration required, but not too much. And we're under these train carriages of the roof, and the bridge is the wall. Pretty simple stuff to do, but it does look, I think it looks believable. There's a little get together area there next to the fire. So lots of little details here for you to see, like the bikes and stuff sitting around. Another put together bed here. Very sparse in here. Why that is floating in mid-air I have no idea, but we need to fix that. That should be on the floor. And you can see the table is actually an ironing board. A couple of benches. That was a fun little twist. Keep going along. And we're getting a little bit posher now. And again, I've kept the decoration to a minimal. Their grill is actually a barbecue. A kitchen. It's a bit of a table. Mattress on the floor. Steamer trunk and some suitcases, and that's pretty much it. Oh, very junkified. I did use a different wall here, but then I've junked it up with those wall boards. And you can see it's really scrappy looking over this. And then to the luxury apartment right at the end. Here we go. Can never get these. Look at that, that's floating. I need to fix that. Never get these to sit on properly. Okay, so nice little lounge room area in here. I haven't used these lounge couches much, but they do fit in with this build pretty nicely. And then we have our standard curtains for the bedroom. And the bedroom's pretty sparse. But again, just enough detail in here to make it believable. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this part of the build. Everything is starting to look pretty nice now. I'm really happy with the way it has turned out. Scrappy is what Scrappy has. Got rid of those purple railings that we had, but you can see it is really starting to come together. So when you come back, we are going to start building on the opposite side of the settlement. And then there's only a few more pieces to put in and we're pretty much done. So I reckon we've only got probably a couple of episodes left and then we should be finished. So guys, thanks for joining me. Leave a comment, leave likes. If you haven't subscribed, do yourself a favour and hit the big red button. Thanks for watching, thanks for joining us on Gaming for XP, and we'll see you next time. See ya!